it's leg day. More specifically, it's hiking leg day. And so I thought I'd actually just do a workout, and you can be a fly on the wall and see what a hiking leg strength session looks like for me. Perhaps I'll talk a little bit about why I haven't made YouTube videos in so long. And I'll probably talk a little bit about the struggles of training for hiking in general, but also trying to train at home. Let's warm up. Okay, I'm going to start pretty gentle. It's pretty cold for Spain, so I'm going to get a decent warm up in. I like rope flow. Helps me tune into my feet, and it helps me rotate the rest of my body, particularly my spine. You may not know this about me, but I have phase 2 arthritis in my neck. So the neck is actually my biggest problem, and I've done a lot of work on trying to get my neck to calm down and just relax. And this has actually been one of the best things for it. Just learning to smoothly rotate, keep my feet still on the ground, and just get into a nice little flow. So I usually do like a minute or two of rope flow, and I love just pairing that with normal skipping. I'm going to see if I can get out 100 reps here. 6, 6, 7, 8, 9, 40, 41, 42, 43. That's about 100. So I'm breathing a little bit. That kind of spikes my heart rate or my breath rate as well. So while I'm flowing, I'm just going to calm my breath down a little bit. And that's probably one of the most useful tips for a hiker. It's like learning to just bring back control of the breath. I try and get people, when they're pushing themselves with their breathing, to get back the control of the breath within like 5 to 8 breaths. It's called a recovery breath. So the trick with a recovery breath is just put your hand on your belly and just try and get your breathing back to a really slow rhythm. Inhale, exhale. The weird thing about breathing is you don't actually have to put effort into it. It just kind of happens. There's a pressure differential between the pressure in your rib cage and the air pressure out here. So you don't actually need to put any effort into breathing. The whole idea is just to relax. Let the air fall in thanks to that pressure differential. Another 100. Okay, that's our warm up done. First exercise, single leg calf raises, weighted. So I actually don't use that much equipment. So you don't see a squat rack, and you don't see a whole bunch of different weights. I like to just do what I can with what I've got. I put calf raises first because I hate them and I want to get them out of the way. And it's nice to like work your way up the body. Something I do sometimes. So I like training at home. I also like training in the gym. It's fine, but I don't know. There's something really nice about just having everything at home where you can just get a quick workout in. And I don't want this workout to go forever. Like, I'm going to try and wrap it up pretty quickly. And I just want to do the bare minimum so that when the summer rolls around, I can just do whatever I want in the mountains, and then I don't have to think about training. Like, I can just enjoy the summer, relax with my friends, and just live my life without having to really think about, oh, am I going to be fit enough for this trip? If someone asks me on a trip, I can just be like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Wherever it is, like skiing, climbing, a big hike, I can just be like, no problem. I'll see you there. Calf raises, A1. A2 is going to be solely a slouch. So we're working up the body. So what I'm trying to do here is just fold myself vertebrae by vertebrae into a nice relaxed slouch. And I'm going to try and keep that knee bend and slowly come up. if I really push through the floor on the top half of the rep, by about rep 6, I can really feel my soleus. I'm just trying to like hang from my hips here, get as low as I can, comfortably, keep the knee bend. I'm going to try and glue my foot to the ground for this whole set so that I can really build up that tension or that activity in the foot. And I'm going to connect it into the hip as I come up. Kind of sinking down into this too, like I never stand all the way up because then I lose all the tension. And I can start to feel the tension on the outside of my glute, like it's all connecting into the floor. It's really nice. So I got 2 reps in reserve there, meaning that I could do another 2 and they could still be in good form. So I'm not trying to like destroy myself. This exercise I learnt from the man himself, David Gray. I don't think he developed it. I think it was his mentor that developed it. I forget his name, but it's such a good movement. Like, it might look like nothing, but if you do it well, you do 10 reps, you'll feel all kinds of muscles in your leg you've never felt before. When I'm at the bottom of the rep, almost feels like I'm just kind of hanging off this glute. So we get all this really nice length and load and tension into the glute. But at the same time, it's all feeling like a line of connection down into my foot. Your foot stability is so important. Hence why I'm wearing barefoot shoes. Okay. Heavy-ish set of calf raises. I'm trying to start the rep from the bottom to set a bit of a standard for depth, and then also trying to set a standard for the top range of the movement, and that way I can tell, you know, roughly whether it was a good rep with a decent amount of range in it. I'm trying to get like a second on the way up and a second on the way down. I lose count of reps all the time. So I end up just going for this feeling like I've got 2 reps in reserve, 2 good, decent reps that I think I could get out. And I actually went past it. That was not a great rep. Okay, soleus slouch. I don't know if it's worth me teaching you this exercise in this video because it takes a lot of coaching and there's a lot of cues involved. This particular exercise though is in my Mountain Proof Ankles program. So if you have MPA, you'll know this already. And hopefully you'll know the feeling of your soleus just absolutely getting cranked. I think I do pretty well on this because I had David Gray coach me through it and he was like, yep, you're good. So having that confirmation was nice, considering that I'm now taking this movement and passing it on to thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people. If you're still watching, like the video, maybe subscribe. I haven't made videos like this really ever in this particular style, but I think it's probably the most useful thing for people to see and understand my training. And whilst it is sport specific, it's more about just having a generally strong body. Like, you could do all this stuff for another sport and you'll play that sport better, for sure. Like, there's nothing that specific about this for hiking. other than my effort level, I'm trying to just keep it like pretty steady, and I'm trying to control my breathing, because I don't think I need to tell you how important breathing is for hiking. Like, it's people's number one complaint that they can't take regular soft breaths in on the uphill. That's only going to become more important the higher you go in altitude. I've got one more good rep here, I think. That wasn't a good rep. That was a very lazy rep. I can still feel it though. Okay, 2 sets is fine. What's next? I really don't feel like doing a kickstand hinge. I'm going to do it anyway. Kickstand hinge. This is a little bit of a progression on the single leg deadlift, which you if you've watched my channel, you know that I love that movement. This, doing it with a bent knee, helps you really connect your glute to the floor in a similar kind of way that the soleus slouch does. But the thing is, with this, you really don't need weight. I think it's actually much better, especially when you're starting to do it body weight. What you're trying to do is truly hinge at the hip and keep your back quite still and stiff and long. I'm thinking about like long head that way. And I tried to teach this exercise in a video, but many people didn't understand it. And that's okay. Like, the first time you do this, you might not feel the glute. And that's probably because you're not doing it very well. But also, it's a difficult movement to get and to understand. What we're trying to do is feel that glute get very warm and very active with this soft bend in the front knee. And then I want to push my hips back to feel length and load through the hamstring, but also the glute. And then again, I kind of push through the floor, pushing my foot down to get back up. And the challenge is not to squat it. So don't let the hips go down like I just did on that rep. I'm trying to think. There's a target behind my butt and I'm thinking hips back, hips back, hips back, without the knee coming forward, or without the knee being dragged back. Hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back. And then using the foot to get you back up. I don't want to waste time, so I'm just going straight into the other set. I've tuned into the exercise a little bit now, so I'm moving a little faster. This style of training, though, is not for everyone, because it is for everyone, but it's very thinky. You have to be aware of your body the whole time. You can't just like smash through the reps. And that makes it quite hard, honestly. Because with bodyweight training, it's as hard as you make it. You know you're doing this genuinely well if on the last couple of reps you are so strong and active through that glute, the whole surface is working, that it's like you're almost falling over. You can see that inhibition in my whole lower body, really. Everything's starting to kind of just panic a little bit. Yeah, so no weights, and my legs are warm. Foam roller is your best friend when it comes to hamstrings. Like so much of this stuff, you don't need much equipment. This is way more effective than doing a single leg hamstring curl with all the weight in the world. And if you try it, you'll find out. There was an exercise that was called the poor man's hamstring curl. And it was more or less this, just done on a bench. But pretty much everyone has a foam roller lying around their house. Like most times when I go to someone's house, there's a foam roller kicking around somewhere that people are using for myofascial release, which is fine, it's all good. But there's so many more things you can do with a foam roller that will actually prevent you from having to do so much myofascial release all the time, so much stretching and foam rolling. Like, if you train well, you shouldn't have to have the need to release all of these muscles all the time. That's been the goal for me, to just find center, like find balance. Part of that is just loads of attention on breathing. I'm going to take 5 genuinely good exhales here. And this is an amazing core exercise if you do it well. So, what you'll find is if you breathe out all the way, like if you genuinely breathe all of the air out, you'll get the most amazing band of tension around your abdominals and your obliques. Like if you really breathe fully out, you'll feel it really switch on. And this won't be soft and jelly. This will be like, it'll be rock hard in there somewhere. So I'm trying to exhale all the way out and feel that tension, but then keep that tension on and take a full relaxed breath. That's the most difficult part of this, relaxing, because as you exhale, you might feel tension around your neck and chest and shoulders. Try and relax some of that and just keep that tension in the belly on the exhale. So if you do that well, what you should feel is like it's a really good, solid core workout. And then also when you take that soft breath in, you should feel all of this expansion around your chest and your rib cage and your shoulders. Like you should feel your back and your scapula moving as you inhale. I like to pair that with the hamstring curl just because I'm on the floor, so it makes sense. I think the single leg variation might be a better choice. I went on a really hard, like just a hamstring rampage a while back where I was doing tons of stuff in the gym, just really trying to get like a good belly of the hamstring contraction on a hamstring curl machine. I couldn't get anything that was anywhere near as good as this. But yeah, that's the downside, right? Like the foam roller creeps away from you. It moves away from you all the time, so like nothing's perfect. And also like you've got to play around a lot with the position of the foam roller and the position of the foot just to find like what really works for you. But the main thing I'll say here is that don't let the lower back do all the work. It's all about the hamstring, so feel mostly the hamstring working. I could do a couple more reps, but I'm not going to because I want reps in reserve. I'm going to go through those 5 breaths again. One of the challenges with that exercise for me is not letting all of that tension come up into the neck. Like I can get a lot of good tension around my abs and my obliques when I do that, but straight away it just comes up into my neck. So it's like keeping all of your attention here and trying to relax all of this and not have the tension come up into the head, but to separate it and kind of keep all of that tension in the core. It's a really tough thing to do. Okay, I think it's time to ramp it up a little bit. The next on the list I think is kettlebell swings, and I'm going to pair that with a hanging leg raise just to get some hip flexion and to do something from upper body just in this lower body session. Hanging, probably one of the best things you can do for your upper body. Kettlebell swings, I don't know how many reps I'll do. I'll probably do like 50. Hanging leg raise. We'll do like, we'll do 20. How's that? Okay. As soon as I moved into this place, I was like, yes. Actually, I chose it because it had this outdoor area and I knew that it would have everything that I need. This thing that I'm hanging off is actually one of the best features of this little outdoor area. I think that's probably about 20. And at some stage I'll probably put like a hangboard or a chin-up bar, maybe both up here. But for now, it's good. I have a 16 kilogram kettlebell, so what's that? 30 pounds, 28 pounds, something like that. I was very excited about having stability in my life and moving into a place and getting settled in and just making my own little gym. Like before this, I was out going to the gym a fair bit, but it always just kind of annoyed me a little bit because I like being outside, like breathing the cold, fresh air, at least this time of year, and just moving around a little bit. That kind of replicates hiking in a way. And I think there's something about working out outside that attracts me. I'm swinging back a lot. I want to try and slow these down and actually focus on what I'm doing. This is what I don't like. This CrossFit style kipping and fast training. Not for stuff like this. Because I actually want to feel my hips. If I'm just like smashing through the reps, I don't feel much. I want to feel all that kind of pull up into the hip. That's hip flexion. And this is hip extension with a hinge. You'll hear me breathing through my mouth here because it's almost beneficial. I don't know, I feel when I breathe out through the mouth whenever I do like lifting stuff, it kind of helps me feel a connection from my rib cage into my hips. It's not that mouth breathing is bad at all, it's just choosing when to use the mouth and when to go back to the nose. And this is when I'll go back to the nose. Recovery breathing. I'm trying to slow down the breath. If I was wearing a heart rate monitor, I could watch my heart rate drop down. This is honestly one of the best skills that you can learn, I think. Just like learning how to calm things down. Okay, I pretty much have my breath back to normal. Here we go again. "20 reps is a good guess." Because that was quite hard. That 20th rep You know, my fingers are starting to give out. It wasn't so much like, oh, I'm wrecked here and here, but it's just, I don't have my climbing strength at the moment. Hence why I'm going to get a hangboard. Okay, kettlebell swings. Don't really want to do an extra set. I could easily go and like water the plants and start cooking dinner and just faff around the house and probably just waste time on Instagram or something. So fuck it. My hands are wrecked. It's actually killing my hands and my forearms more than anything, pairing these two together. I guess that's good for grip strength. So I'm so bad at counting reps. I think it's better to just go for the feeling. Like that's why I like reps in reserve. I don't really write down the amount of reps in my workouts. I just kind of think more about the movements and the exercises. I just pay attention to push me to the point that I think is uncomfortable, but still looks genuine in the form. Oh, I don't know how the form was on that last set. Probably not great. Yeah, good. Workout done. Now I can go about my day and be happy. Hammock recovery time. So that was a pretty chill leg session, a good starting point for a lot of people. Quite a few technical details there that you have to work out, but I'll put some links in the description to some of these exercises. Give me your email address and I'll send them to you. How's that? That's a good trade, I think. It's not stuff that I just want to put on my channel. Whether you do it at home or whether you go to the gym, it doesn't matter. Like if you've got all this stuff, then great. If you need to go to the gym or if you need to go to the park to do it, just get it done. The main thing is that you get it done. But I just wanted to share the kind of workout that I do. If you like it, great. If you want to adopt it, even better. I've been wanting to share this kind of stuff for ages, but I just haven't really had the space to do it. And so when I stopped making gear videos a while back, I was a little bit stagnant in terms of what I could put out there. But now having this amazing space, I do want to share a lot more with you. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see more of it, subscribe. And we have a community of people called The Summit where you can join and you can chat with people who are following my training, running into struggles, trying to figure things out. I invite you to join that. It's good to be back. I'll see you on the summit.